Hi, friends. I'm Kimberly Jarman. Welcome to my Mindset to Reach Your Full Potential Masterclass. Let's first talk about the theme. Yes, I am outside and the lighting isn't perfect. I even have my ring light here, but it's still not like making incredible lighting. I get that. I think I did a good job with the audio, so that's what you guys care about. I wanted to be outside. I wanted to be in nature around the flowers, hearing the birds, because it's so much more soothing to our nervous system rather than watching another masterclass from another person's office looking at the same walls. So please forgive me for not having the best lighting during this masterclass. I just thought it was like so beautiful to be outside, to hear the birds and see flowers that it was like, we're going to sacrifice lighting for this. So, welcome. Again, I'm Kimberly Jarman. I am a performance coach for women. So I help women reach their full potential with neuroscience based mindset coaching and brain chemical and hormone biohacking so they can think at a higher level, like thinking a lot clearer, problem solving, not getting stuck in all that emotional drama, stuck in indecision, stuck in confusion. That we can think at a higher level, problem solve at a higher level, and be more creative. So we create our dream life, our dream career, whatever it is that you're going after. I tend to work with women that are pretty high achievers. They're kind of like, think of your Enneagram 8s. They want to make an impact. They're that like innate leader inside of them. And they just haven't built up the self-confidence or really the self-belief enough to go after what they know they're meant to do. They know they're meant for bigger things. They know they have more potential. I remember when I was in higher ed, as an employee, which by the way, I was never meant to be an employee. I'm sure you probably are resonating with that as well. I just would sit there and be like, I know I have more potential than this. Like, I know I am meant for more than this. Sitting in this office every single day, are you kidding me? And when I was 33, 34, I was like, I can't do this for the rest of my life. I'm not going to spend the rest of my life sitting in an office going, is this it? Is this like, this is it? No. Um, and so I took the journey to figure out, well, what is this? It's kind of ironic because at the time I was a academic advisor, basically a life coach. They just didn't call us that for undeclared students, student athletes, and veterans. And I remember telling them back then, like, yeah, you're not going to ever find your perfect career. Like, that's kind of just like this illusion. You just have to find something that you kind of like and like call it good. And I look back on that past self and like how cynical she was, because she was believing that. She was believing that Kim, that version of Kim was believing like, this is it. Like, this is what society promised me. They told you to go to college. They told you to get married. They told you to get the full-time job, which you did. And here we are. So I guess we just have to make the best of it. Fast forward, and here I am now. And I'm like, wow, what a disservice I told myself and what a disservice I did to those students. It's just bullshit. But you have to be willing to be courageous and brave to actually go towards those dreams, right? They're not going to come after you. We have to be able to conjure up self-confidence, conjure up bravery, the ability to bet on ourselves, and the ability to take risks and have self-confidence and have rejection resilience to actually achieve these big dreams that we're dreaming of. So here today, we're going to talk about how do we reach our full potential. And I like going to the dictionary. What does that even mean? And reaching your full potential means your ability to grow. Look it up in the dictionary. It's the ability to grow, the ability to expand, the ability to evolve. So when we say I want to reach my full potential, it's what we're saying is I want to grow and expand and evolve as much as I am capable of. That is all in your power and control. I used to think I want to reach my potential was tied to like this hidden purpose that like was hidden from me and I had to go figure it out. Right. And so that's why I would always say, like, I know I have more potential in this. Like, I have to go find it. I have to go figure it out. It's like hidden somewhere outside of me. But the more I do this work and the more I like actually look at like neuroscience and how the brain works and like what's real and what are stories I've been telling myself, I start deprogramming these like ambiguous beliefs, if you will, right? Like the ambiguity of reach your full potential. Well, what does that actually really mean? And for a lot of us, it's like something outside of us. And I'm here to tell you today, it's not. This was a 4-part series, and I have the other replays. If you guys didn't catch those, please just reply to the email and I will get them to you. But we talked about all the things that have to be in place to reach your full potential. One of them is a regulated nervous system. When we're living in fight or flight, freeze or fawn, we are functioning out of our lower brain, our primal brain. And that part of us just cannot grow and expand because it's worried about survival at that point, right? And then the other part is being neurochemically and hormone balanced. So we talked about serotonin. When your serotonin is off, either high or low, it doesn't matter. It creates a state of anxiety in our body. And serotonin is a critical neurotransmitter for us to have balance because it's a self confidence chemical, it's a rejection resilience chemical. Two things that we desperately need to go after our dreams, to go after our goals. I want to side note this real quick. When I say dreams, I use it synonymously with goals, and goals, same with dreams. Sometimes goals triggers us. For me, like that, the word goals sometimes like indicates failure to me because I've had such big dreams that were not really possible to achieve in one year. But dreams just feels like a safer word for me, so I use them interchangeably. So we talked about nervous system regulation. Then we talked about neurochemicals and hormones. And then we talked about what was the third? I can't remember the third one. It'll come to me in a minute. And then here we're talking about the mindset. So let's dive in a little bit to the mindset. We talked about the definition of what potential is. Now let's talk about beliefs, okay? Beliefs, you know what those are. You have lots of beliefs. You have beliefs about things that you can do. You have beliefs about things that you cannot do. You have lots of beliefs. Beliefs come from all sorts of places, right? Family of origin, education system, religion, society as a whole. We acquire belief from our personal experiences, our lived experiences. These beliefs are developed. So the difference between beliefs and thoughts, my friend, is this. Thoughts sometimes are just like passing by. There's a plane going overhead. There we go. So thoughts pass by. Sometimes we keep them, sometimes we don't. Beliefs are thoughts that we think over and over and over because then they become a wired neural pathway. Okay, when you think something over and over and over, it becomes a neural pathway, and then your brain goes and finds evidence to validate that belief. And it actually filters out, it doesn't allow into your awareness anything that's in opposition to that belief. So I love to use the bear model. So my brain, I've been taught the model from other coaches, but my brain took it, simplified it, and made it into something that's a little bit more easier to use and a little bit. I have a kitten who just keeps trying to like get on the table. There he goes. So I turned it into something a little bit more simple and easier to use. So if we look at the bear model, it's B stands for belief. What is your belief about this situation? What is your belief about this dream, this goal? Our beliefs create our emotions. So you have a thought, right? The neurotransmitters fire. It creates a chemical reaction and energy response in your body, which we call emotions. That emotion then drives the action or the inaction in us. And our action or inaction then creates the results. So whatever results you have in your life is being created because of this belief up here. So to have different results, we have to have different beliefs because again, this is the driver, of all the results. Belief creates emotions, emotions drive action, inaction, and then create the results. So when we're talking about a new mindset to reach your full potential, we have to get, in my opinion, this is how I do my coaching practice, is we have to get to the root cause beliefs. When you think about this dream, let's say your dream is to make 20K a month. What is your belief about that? Does your brain say, yeah, this is possible for me? Or does it say like that feels impossible or that's only for these type of people? Because then we're on to something. When we can figure out what the belief is, then we can figure out, okay, when I have that thought, how do I feel? What is the emotion that that creates in me? And then when I feel that emotion, let's say despair, you have that thought, like, that's not for people like me, kind of creates the emotion of despair. Think about how you behave when you feel despair, not motivated, hopeless. So we don't take action. We just keep doing the same thing over and over. We don't allow ourselves to be creative. We don't allow ourselves to problem solve. So then that creates the result that I'm not a person that creates that. I'm not a person that has that. But do you see now, though, it's not because of who you are, it's because of the belief that you are believing. Crazy, isn't it? So we have to, when we're going after our full potential, we really have to be onto our beliefs. And the way I like to think about beliefs is this way. Our brain creates lots of stories. It loves to fill in the gaps. It loves to look for patterns and it likes to make predictions. So, what's happening is a lot of our beliefs are actually predictions, stories. So, I ask myself, okay, this is the belief I have. Is this belief based in facts? Can I prove this in a court of law? Could I build a case and take it to the court and provide evidence to prove this is a factual belief? Or is this a story? If it's not factual, then it's a story. And then I ask myself, is this story serving me? Yes or no? And then if I see like, no, the story is not serving me, it's not based on facts, my brain is then so much more willing to let it go. So then I ask myself, and this is the process I go through with my clients. You're kind of going to get to see like my coaching philosophy and my coaching style as I'm going through this with you. So then I take with my clients, once we've identified the belief, then we have decided, is it based on facts or is it a story? I will tell you, most of our beliefs, I'm just going to throw a random number out there, probably 90% or more are actually stories. Okay. So once we've identified it's a story, then they get to make the decision. Does this story serve me or not? And they'll be like, no, it doesn't. Okay. So then I take them through another technique I use to process emotion and I let it go, let these beliefs go, where I've taken the process of changing beliefs and condensed it into a very short time frame. So now we don't have to spend multiple sessions, months, like trying to let go of this belief and create something else. This now becomes a process that takes less than an hour, to be honest with you. So then we go to, okay, it doesn't serve you. Could you let this go? Would you let this go? And when are you going to let it go? And we also dive into a little bit more of like welcoming it and processing the emotion. So then we drop the resistance, because I will tell you, what we resist persists. It actually feeds that chemical emotion reaction. So then it continues in our body, right? And we're cycling it more and more and more, and we're creating more of the same experience. Research from a doctor, I can't remember his last name, came out and where he showed that like the chemical reaction, the energetic wave in our body from an emotion actually only lasts 90 seconds in our body if we're willing to sit with it and process it. After that, if that emotion is sticking around, it's because our brain is playing the story over and over, recreating the emotion over and over and over, right? But when we can get to a place of understanding, like, okay, emotions are chemical reactions in my body. They're an energy. They're created by my thoughts and my beliefs, or they're created from a dysregulated nervous system. But we're going to stick with the easy one right now, okay? And then all I have to do is sit with this emotion and like welcome it, embrace it, allow it and not resist it and not push it down and not avoid it and not like try to change out of it with something, distract myself. If I could just like be with it and welcome it, that will only last for 90 seconds. Yeah, friend. And so going through that process with my clients, they're able to let go of these beliefs that keep them stuck, these beliefs that keep them in self doubt, these beliefs that keep them in people pleasing and perfectionism and driven us to prove our worth and enoughness behavior patterns. I mean, isn't that incredible? Like, we spend years trying to break these behavioral patterns, trying to manhandle them, or trying to, like, how do I just, like, what do I do with these emotions? When it really can be very simple, very easy, and very quick when you have the right tools. And I just want to, like, again, drive that point home that to reach our full potential, it's all about the ability to grow, your growth, your ability to evolve. To do that, we have to have a regulated nervous system. We have to be neurochemically and hormonally balanced, right? We have to have a mindset that is growth focused versus fixed. I'm not sure if you guys haven't read the book, Mindset by Dr. Carol Dweck. You definitely need to go get that book today. It's a fantastic book. She talks about the growth mindset versus the fixed mindset. Fixed mindset says, "I'm born this way." Michael Jordan was born special. He was born talented. He was going to go to the NBA whether he practiced or not. Right? It's like this genetics. People are born talented, born gifted. Period. And I can't do anything to change it. Versus growth mindset shows, and in her book, she shows the study showing like people that have growth mindsets were open to learn. They were open to trying and failing things. They were open to experiment. And they got practiced and they practiced and practiced. And that's how they developed these very high expert skill sets. So being able again to reach your full potential is moving into a growth mindset. It's moving out of that fixed mindset, which really ultimately at the end of the day is it's a victim mindset driven mindset. That we are powerless. We don't have a lot of power to change things. Other people are our problems and our issues. Other people are more gifted and more special and more talented and more privileged, right? Other people get the things that I want and I can't have them. Do you see how powerless that feels? And when we feel powerless, we can't take action to go get the things we want. So it's really moving away from that fixed mindset and moving into a growth mindset where it is, I can do whatever I want. I have to be willing to fail. I have to put in a lot of reps because I get better by actually doing the thing, right? And I have as much opportunity than others. If others can do it, then I can do it. You see the difference there? So when we can move into that growth mindset, and again, neurochemically can be balanced, nervous system regulated, have this new mindset, then we have all the foundational tools that we need to reach your full potential. Isn't that exciting? Super exciting. Because when you can reach your full potential, then you live a life that is full of purpose and it's full of meaning. And you're doing fulfilling, meaningful work, right? Because you're doing things that are aligned with you. You're taking aligned action. You're no longer behaving in ways that play small. You're no longer behaving in ways, having behavioral patterns. They're self-sabotaging. They're self-limiting. You get out of the behavioral patterns that are full of self-doubt and full of indecision and full of procrastination, which is amazing, right? We all want that. And we get to move into other beliefs that create behavioral patterns that are motivated, that are inspired actions, that are resilient, that are stress resilient, that are rejection resilient, that are take risk, that make brave choices, that are self-confident. You know, like when you feel self-confident, you walk into a room and like, yeah, I deserve to be here. I belong in this room. Like everybody in this room wants to talk to me because I have something to offer rather than walking into a room and just kind of blending in, hoping nobody will notice you, hoping nobody will ask you a question, Or even for like personalities or my mind, I don't tend to blend in, but I'll get defensive. Right. And I'll move into that energy of like trying to prove myself, like prove how smart I am or prove that I deserve to be there. And it's a very like aggressive, spiky type energy that's not approachable at all. So then, I don't have a lot of conversation because it's that standoffish. Like I'm on edge and will attack. But when I'm living in this growth mindset, right, and I've healed some of those wounds and I've regulated my nervous system, I can walk into a room now and not feel defensive, to feel very loving and accepting of others and loving and accepting of myself. And that's just such a game changer, my friends. So, because I come from a counseling background, so my master's degree is in, we very much are trained about confidentiality. And so you don't see therapists, counselors like doing client testimonials, right? Like it's just kind of against the grain of the therapy world and confidentiality. So I'm not going to show you a bunch of testimonial slides. I have them. Just at this point, they don't feel in alignment with me because it feels like a violation of my client's privacy. So I will tell you, I did the research. I went over all of my clients and all the results that we agreed that they created in our 6 months together. And then I did the math. And 65% of my clients created more money without working harder in the 6 months we worked together. They created more purposeful and meaningful careers or businesses for themselves. And they made more money from a more aligned way. Now, that wasn't necessarily what we set out to do. That's just part of this work. When you can take all of these cylinders that we're firing on and get them all to fire on together, right? Like the nervous system, the neurochemical and hormonal, the mindset part. When we can get those to align and fire together, then we can take aligned action and we show up so much more confidently. We ask for what we want in our life. We have healthy boundaries. We no longer people please. We no longer try to like make everybody else happy. We get out of that perfectionism mindset and we show up fully in our lives in full alignment with us. And when we do that, we start asking for what we want and we start creating what we want in our life. And most of us want more freedom. We want more financial freedom. We want more time freedom. And we don't want people telling us what to do. I mean, I'm an Enneagram 8. So if you're an Enneagram 8, you're like, yes, sister, I hear this, right? And so when you do that work, you start creating the results you want. You start getting the freedom you want. And how valuable is that? There's not an amount of money. Like you could not put a price on if a coach were to tell me like, I will give you all the tools and I will be here to support you. And I will be here to believe in you before you can actually believe in yourself. And I will hold you to the truth and the facts of life instead of letting you get lost in the stories that you're believing. And at the end, you will become a woman that is more confident, more aligned with herself, moved out of these unhealthy behavior patterns. She takes actions that are in alignment with her. She has healthy boundaries. She shows up to her family and her friends in a way that's in alignment with her. And she creates the things that she wants and she creates the opportunities that she needs to get to where she wants to go. So she creates more money for herself. She creates more time freedom for herself. And she creates a life that's fully aligned with her. Like, how much money would you be like, I can get all of that? Those are the results I get? Here's my checkbook. Write the check, right? And I'm not just saying that because I'm a coach. I'm saying like that's I can say this because that's the work I've done with my coaches. And now looking at that, like, gosh, I would have paid them triple the money to have my time to be mine, to have the ability to make as much money as I ever want to make. There is no ceiling for me. There's no glass ceiling. When you get these tools, you no longer have financial ceilings. You get to go create how much money you want to create based on the amount of work that you want to do. So we don't go into grindy, graspy energy. We don't do that in my program. I am not about working harder, working more, hustling, grinding, that shit burns us out. And especially as women, women are 80% more likely to develop autoimmune diseases than men. We're not going to do that. We're not going to become overly stressed. We're not going to overwork. We're going to get really efficient, really clear, and really aligned and take aligned action to get what we want faster. It's that simple, right? I am not one of those coaches that's into like the woo. I like a little woo, but that's just not how I like the science. We don't do a lot. We don't do manifestation. If you want to manifest, you manifest that. I'm not the coach for you. We don't just simply just change thoughts all the time either, right? Or just like write some affirmations somewhere. Like if that shit worked, you would already have what you wanted. You would, but you don't. That's why you're here, right? We don't fake it until we make it. I have had coaches that I have hired that are fake it till they make it. I am just a no bullshit type woman, and I am not going to fake it until I make it. No, I am going to be aligned until I make it. And vision boards are great. They're just not part of my coaching practice. I really love practical. I like simple and I like practical. So we learn how to make decisions faster, right? I do a strategy session with my clients because we do the roadmap. Like none of this like throwing spaghetti at the wall type shit. It just makes things take so much longer. You and I are going to do a strategy session and where we like roadmap this out. Where do you want to be? Okay, how do we get there? What are the obstacles we're going to have to overcome? Right? It's a plan. Like, please. I have asked for a plan for so many coaches, but we're going to create that together. And we take, again, bold action, get to the root cause, and we just get clear. So I invite you, if this is resonating with you, like, yes, I'm a person who wants to reach my full potential. I love how you broke this down, Cam, in terms of mindset and moving into growth mindset and your bear model. I would invite you to have a conversation with me in my discovery calls. It's free. You're going to walk away, whether you decide to work with me or not. It's not the point. The point is that you get some clarity on where you want to be and you get clarity on the actual problem, not what you think the problem is, the actual problem as to why you don't have what you want or you're not where you want to be. That's what I can offer you in the discovery call. If you decide again, it doesn't matter to me if you say, yes, I want to work with you, or no, I don't want to work with you. It's not a high pressure sales call. I only want to work with clients that are aligned with me, that want to work with me. That's it. I have been a coach long enough that I just don't pick up clients anymore that are not in alignment. I want people that are taking responsibility for life and want to take action and want to take strategic action and want to do the work to evolve themselves. So I am not high pressure sales, y'all. You're either aligned with me or you're not. That's it. But at least you can leave the discovery call with, okay, I know what I want now, and I actually know what the real problem is as to why I don't have it. I can go problem solve now. So I hope this masterclass was helpful for you guys. Please email me with questions you have or DM me on Instagram or TikTok, whatever. With what questions? If you have specific questions you need help with, you need clarification, ask away. I'm here to help you because I want to see more women living in their full potential, stepping into their leadership abilities, hello, Enneagram 8s, and really making a change in the impact in the world. I'm tired of seeing women waste their potential in dead-end jobs, waste their potential in jobs that they hate, waste their potential because they're living in fear of getting it wrong or making a mistake or failing, or if they're going to disappoint other people. It's just now is the time we end that bullshit. Women need to step up and take more leadership roles and start creating businesses that are more ethical and more aligned and helping more people. And I'm here to help those women. So thank you for being here. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Please, again, reach out and contact me if you have any questions and have a fantastic day.